The boyfriend's always the last to know. At least that was the case on The Young and the Restless for Nate Hastings and his duplicitous girlfriend, Audra. For his portrayal of a man determined to get to the truth, Soap Central is bestowing Performer of the Week for Y&R honors on Sean Dominic, Nate's portrayer. Nate's not a man who jumps to conclusions, but once he had been given enough circumstantial evidence and testimonials by close friends and family, he had to sit down with Audra and give her a chance to come clean. The suspicions had been building for a while. He pretty much begged Audra to let him know if the accusations about her working with Victor were true or not. What the viewers saw, and were not sure Audra did, was that Nate knew Audra was guilty. He just needed her to say it. The irony is, if she had confessed, they might still be together. "We can take it on board and go from there, but you can't keep dancing around it with me," Nate stated. Audra had repeated her routine about Kyle being jealous and wanting to get her back so many times that Nate could probably have repeated it verbatim. We saw in Dominic's eyes that Audra's version of the situation was no longer swaying Nate. "Stop grasping at straws and trying to convince me that what I think, what I know, deep down in my gut, isn't real," Nate stated. Dominic brought tons of passion to these scenes, but he didn't play anger as much as he did frustration that the woman he trusted was lying to him. A lesser actor might have resorted to shouting and screaming, but Dominic never lost sight of the fact that his character is a man who wants to make his relationship work. The script called for Nate to move from denial and demand the truth. Dominic stepped up and brought an unrelenting drive to his character as he continued to pummel away so he could get that truth. Nate wasn't looking to be right, but he wanted to bring honesty to his relationship with Audra, something that she couldn't bring herself to do. Nate was a doctor, not a lawyer's, but he charged ahead like a skilled attorney by asking Audra to explain her decision to walk away from a powerful business partner like Victor. She was unconvincing in her responses. As Audra made her way out of Crimson Lights, Kane was making his way in. While Nate probably would have ripped into the man known as Aristotle Dumas anyway, his encounter with Kane was more intense because of Nate's frustrations with Audra. "Anger wouldn't begin to describe what I'm feeling right now," a controlled Nate informed Kane. He blasted the billionaire over the loss of his half-brother Damien, and all a chance. "There was literally no reason for him to be at this business retreat," Nate snarked, justifiably. "We're two good men, and your mentally unbalanced assistant ended up dead." Make no mistake, Nate is furious with Kane and has every reason to be. But Dominic brought an added level of frustration to his character as his bumping into Kane came right after his futile talk with the woman he loves. "Oh, and if you do feel guilty about Damien and Chance, you should," Nate told Kane, looking him directly in the eye. Nate's next stop was Society, where he had a much more pleasant conversation with Devon. Nate recapped his encounter with Audra at Crimson Lights. He wondered if he'd done the right thing by accusing her of lying to him. Nate lamented that Audra had given her more of the same song and dance, and that she ended things. Supportive words from Devon let Nate know that he'd taken the right path. We saw Dominic play Nate as a bit relieved. Nate knew he had a safe refuge with his cousin. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that 4 dangerous obsessions could lead to disaster. These characters' fixations could spiral out of control and bring some terrible news to Genoa City. So let's talk about all the drama ahead on Y&R. 1. Billy's Chancellor plot backfires? For starters, Billy Abbott really needs to grow up and get over it when it comes to this Chancellor obsession of his. Instead of focusing on Abbott Communications, his own company with his actual name on it, Billy's still stuck chasing after Chancellor and may ultimately regret it. Billy put Sally Spectra in charge of Abbott Communications, but he may eventually wish he'd just stayed by her side to run the company together, like they planned. This Chancellor mission may end in catastrophe in more ways than one. As for Kane Ashby's pursuit of Lily Winters, his fixation on recapturing what they've lost could spell trouble. Kane has a lot of irons in the fire when it comes to his corporate takeover plans, so obsessing over Lily could become a distraction that ruins his goals. This seems like a situation where Kane could lose from every angle if he's not careful, so his Lily reunion pursuit could send things off the rails. Next, we've got Phyllis Summers, who's obsessed with Kane's grand plans and the power they could offer. However, Kane has already warned Phyllis that they're not equals, and she's not the queen to his king. Whatever power Phyllis thinks she's after here won't be all it's cracked up to be. We definitely see the potential for Phyllis and Kane's alliance to turn sour down the road. Phyllis's power trip may leave her with nothing in the end and make her wish she hadn't gone all in on helping Kane. There's even the potential for legal consequences if Kane gets Phyllis in over her head. As for Daniel Rumalotti Jr.'s fixation with Tessa Porter and the connection that's developed between them, it may only bring him more pain in the end. Daniel was crushed after losing Heather Stevens, but he's found comfort in getting to know Tessa through all their guitar bonding. Tessa is latching onto Daniel as a lifeline too, but this just doesn't feel like a pairing that's meant to last. Deep down, Tessa still loves Mariah Copeland and would repair their family if given the chance. Mariah and Tessa may fix their marriage down the road, so Daniel's current Tessa obsession seems awfully dangerous for his heart. The Young and the Restless, spoilers say some shockers and shakeups, are still come for these obsessed Genoa City residents. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, August 25th, reveals that Billy Abbott will put a private investigator to work while Victor Newman carries out an extortion plot. Adam Newman's plan will also be rejected, so there'll be a lot happening in Monday's exciting show. At the Newman Ranch, Nick Newman will defend Victor's alliance idea to Adam, who'll think it'd be better to just tackle the Kane-Ashby threat head-on. Adam will want Nick to team up with him and convince Victor, but Nick won't be willing to do that. Instead, Nick will push Adam to trust their dad since Victor has a plan related to a discovery at the chateau. Y&R fans may recall that Nick found some info on the former estate owner while he was locked up with Sharon Newman. Victor had his people dig deeper into who used to own the chateau and vineyard, so he'll back Kane into a corner on Monday's episode. On Kane's train, Victor will toss an envelope at him and make an offer that Kane can't turn down. There'll be a letter inside containing the last will and testament of the elderly woman who was Colin Atkinson's final con job. Colin apparently duped this wealthy lady into signing over the chateau and vineyard to his last known alias, so Victor will have evidence of all this. It'll look like Kane was involved if it gets exposed, and will tarnish his empire since it was seemingly built on Colin's dirty money. Victor will demand Kane's alliance against Jack Abbott and Jabot, or else he'll vow to release this info to the press and drive Kane out of GC permanently. Once Kane realizes he's being extorted, he'll seem willing to accept Victor's victory and become his ally. In the park, Lily Winters will discover that Holden Novak accepted Kane's job offer, so she'll predict that he's going to regret it. Since Holden will seem rather cold about Damian Kane's demise, Lily will call him out for that too. Holden will insist he's truly sorry about what happened to Damian, but he'll acknowledge that their friendship fell apart around the time they came to Genoa City. That's when Holden realized he wasn't an equal in Damian's eyes. Holden will try to get Lily to open up about Owen's situation with Kane, but she'll just want the details of Kane's grand plan. When Holden claims he's in the dark, Lily will find that hard to believe. At Billy's place, he'll admire Sally Spectra as she tries on dresses to potentially wear for the launch party. Billy will pick his favorite and strip down with Sally on the couch. It turns out Billy will also hire a private investigator to watch Kane's every move and report back. That news will concern Sally since Kane could figure out what's going on, but Billy will offer reassurance. Billy's PI will call with updates about Victor's visit to Kane's train, so Billy will feel like his decision to have Kane followed is already paying off. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kane's enemies shouldn't underestimate him since he's still got some tricks up his sleeve. Many fans of The Young and the Restless would probably agree that Audra Charles is the kind of character you either love or hate, or maybe you love to hate her. She's beautiful, bright, passionate, ambitious, power-hungry, and will do almost anything to achieve success in the business world. She seems like a throwback to the characters we watched in the primetime soaps of the 1970s and 80s, like Dallas and Dynasty. We could easily picture her having an affair with Dallas's iconic villain J.R. Ewing, and maybe even getting the best of him somehow. On Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless, Nate tried to get to the bottom of what really happened between Audra and Victor. Did she indeed make a deal with him to fund her company Vibrante if she seduced Kyle away from Claire? That was the question Nate wanted a truthful answer to. Not only did she continue to tell him no, but she broke up with him for not believing her. It was infuriating that she refused to be honest with him, but if we take a deeper dive into her character's behavior, it seems to come from a place of insecurity and an intense fear of rejection. After all the ups and downs she endured last year in her relationship with Tucker, she is finally in a solid and stable relationship with a man who doesn't have unresolved feelings for someone else. Audra always knew a big part of Tucker's heart belonged to Ashley Abbott. Nate, on the other hand, loves Audra, and only Audra. Perhaps that's one reason why she's so terrified to tell him the truth and risk losing him. Terrified is not a word we associate with Audra. She's tough, courageous, and has great inner strength, or at least that's how she appears most of the time. But we know she has a soft, caring side also. We've seen it in her scenes with Amy. Audra has been a loving, supportive friend to Amy throughout her battle with leukemia. Sally and Audra have developed a close friendship on The Young and the Restless. Sally shared the painful experience she went through when she was involved with Adam, and he refused to be honest with her about his one-night stand with Chelsea. "I do know a thing or two about what Nate might be feeling," Sally said. "Adam withheld the truth because he thought it would protect me, but in the end, the lying just made it worse." It would have been nice if Audra had taken those words to heart and told Nate the truth about her deal with Victor. It feels like so much of Audra's character boils down to this. She walks a tightrope between achieving success in business at whatever cost and trying to maintain a good relationship with her significant other. She just has the damnedest time trying to reconcile those two things. The writers of The Young and the Restless have kept Audra somewhat of a mystery. We've only been getting what feels like puzzle pieces about her past. Last year, after Jordan got Nikki hooked on alcohol again, Audra mentioned that she had some personal knowledge of that struggle herself. She said her father was an alcoholic. Audra shared another tidbit about herself when she told Sally she used to be interested in art, but she didn't want to go through the hardship of living week to week as a struggling artist trying to sell her work. So she gave up her artistic dreams and pursued a lucrative career in business instead. Now that Sally has offered her a job at Abbott Communications, it would be fun to see Audra revisit her creative passions and incorporate them somehow into her role in the business. Maybe she could do graphic design for the company or paint a mural for the lobby. The possibilities are endless if only the writers would explore them. It would also be wonderful if we could delve more deeply into Audra's background to get a better sense of what motivates her to be so fiercely driven to succeed. What else happened to her years ago, perhaps in her childhood or college years, that shaped her into the woman she has become? It would be interesting to know, since she is so good at being both tough and tender. We want to know more about her, and we should. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease there might be a single factor that could assist Kane Ashby in winning back Lily Winters. Could a significant twist hold the key to resolving Kane's issues regarding the reunion he desires? Kane is determined to build a future with Lily, yet he hasn't provided her with any solid reasons to trust him once more. It's understandable why Lily is cautious, given all the pain Kane has caused her in the past and the numerous lies he has told. Additionally, Lily was displeased with Kane's choice to reconnect with Colin Atkinson before his passing. Kane's deception involving Aristotle Dumas and the turmoil that unfolded in Nice certainly didn't help his case either. But he's not ready to give up starting a new chapter with Lily. Despite Lily's consistent rejections, Kane remains optimistic that he might eventually persuade her to give him another opportunity. Kane dreams of nothing more than rekindling his romance with Lily and restoring their family with the twins. But first, he needs to win them over. Maddie Ashby and Charlie Ashby forgiving him is crucial to his success. This leads us to a potential twist that could assist Kane in reaching his personal aspirations, which he has confessed hold greater significance for him than his career ambitions. At some point, Y&R might place Kane in serious jeopardy. A plot twist could be on the horizon that threatens Kane's very existence. For instance, Kane might find himself in a car accident or another form of mishap. There's a chance that a mysterious foe could target Kane, leaving him gravely injured. Lily requires something to help dismantle the barriers she has erected regarding Kane. The near loss of Kane could facilitate this and lead to some poignant hospital scenes. We can easily envision Lily pleading with the unconscious Kane to awaken in such a scenario. In her desperation, Lily might tearfully negotiate with Kane, promising a reunion if he simply returns to her. This situation could profoundly shake Lily and serve as a wake-up call about her enduring love for her ex-husband. Essentially, a near-death experience might be the key to resolving Kane's reunion issues, revealing to Lily just how much she stands to lose. This week's Y&R preview has Victor hurling accusations and Claire confronting Kyle. August 25th to 29 will feature many confrontations on the young and the restless. The mustache makes an accusation against a rival, while another character seeks answers from their significant other. Here's a glimpse of what's ahead. Lily still wants to find out Kane's game plan. Her search for answers takes her to Holden. Since he used to work for Dumas' Kane, he knows his boss's mindset. When Lily meets with Holden, she tells him that she wants the truth. But Holden says she's wrong if she thinks he knows about Kane's overall plan. Lily replies that she finds that hard to believe. With Holden and Kane secretly working together, could Lily uncover their alliance and expose their plan? Victor's war with Kane is heating up. Kane is determined not to step down, but the mustache is eager to crush his new rival. This week, the two meet on Kane's train to discuss business. Their talk shifts to Kane's late father, and Victor hints at Colin's last great swindle. A confused Kane asks what Victor means, and the mustache explains that Kane's plan to buy properties in Genoa City is the result of dirty money. Since Colin was a scam artist, it's possible he and Kane accrued their fortune by devious methods. Meanwhile, Claire is still fuming over Victor and Audra's scheme to break up her and Kyle. Most of Claire's anger has been directed at Audra, but now Kyle might feel her wrath. Claire is suspicious that Kyle isn't being truthful about Audra. When Claire asks if anything happened between him and Audra in Nice, Kyle is nervous. He's hiding the fact that he made out with Audra in order to bust her scheme. Although Kyle's trying to protect Claire from the truth, he's doing more damage by keeping it a secret. Will Kyle finally confess that he and Audra kissed, or will he continue to keep Claire in the dark? Once Audra gets dumped, she'll be back on the prowl. This week's slow burn goes to Audra on the young and the restless. She's bound to have a rebound after her relationship with Nate falls apart. Her lies are quickly catching up with her, and he's not sure who he can trust. So, who will she end up with next? Audra and Claire shared their side of the story. Claire unveiled Audra's deal with Victor to Nate. He found out that his girlfriend was hired to seduce Kyle. Nate already had his doubts about Audra, and this confirmed them. He's already overcome with grief at the loss of his brother Damien. Now, he has to worry about his lying, no-good girlfriend. Audra shared her version of the story to protect Nate, but it looks like the damage was already done to their relationship. Nate and Audra seem to have called it quits. So, what could this mean? Audra will likely have a rebound. She never stays lonely for long. Holden would be the obvious choice since he's hot and into her. Plus, they already share a sordid history back in Los Angeles. Their fling could bring more to the surface. It's also possible that Audra could finally get Kyle in bed. His relationship with Claire is already crumbling, as she's not sure of whom to trust anymore. Claire thought she found the perfect guy, but this is Kyle Abbott we're talking about. He's never been known to be faithful to his partners. We could see Audra and Kyle having another steamy affair. But the surprise twist would be that Audra ends up with Kane. He could give her everything she wants, which is a hot man and a billion-dollar company. It makes sense since they're both outcasts of Genoa City. Pieces of Kane Ashby's missing 6 years are shown. Plus, Lily Winters has to think about her past. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. The last time that we saw Amanda, she was in Nice with Kane and the other partygoers. Kane told her if she wanted to quit, he would understand. While she didn't agree with the events that went down, she agreed to stay on board. Amanda won't come back until Friday's episode, so we will see what she can reveal about Kane, if she opens up at all. Victor Newman has thrown a curveball at Kane about Colin Atkinson. It really confused Kane, as he thought his father had straightened out his life. However, there is also a chance that Victor invented the whole con just to force Kane to make a deal. As the week progresses, Kane will think about the 6 years he spent after leaving Genoa City. Meanwhile, Lily also thinks about her past with Kane. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of August 25th reveal that Victoria Newman worries about Claire Grace Newman's future. The mother is right to worry. While Claire had every right to expose Audra Charles, her level of satisfaction from it is worrying. She keeps assuring everyone she's not Jordan, but heartbreak and humiliation can make a woman resort to extreme measures. Elsewhere, Nick Newman and Adam Newman make a pact. Plus, Nick will also try to do damage control with Phyllis Summers. Nate Hastings opens up to Devin Winters. Plus, Billy Abbott reports Kane's latest scheme to Jack Abbott. There will also be Nikki Newman, who makes a huge change at Chancellor. Will this change somehow stop Kane from getting what he wants? As for Jack and Victor, they will exchange insults. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease viewers might witness a mole operation, a significant hiring blunder, and Amanda Sinclair's upcoming legal troubles. There are still plenty of surprises in store for Genoa City, prompting us to consider the direction of some major story arcs. Victor Newman assigned Nick Newman the task of becoming friends with Kane Ashby to form an alliance, but Adam Newman doubts it will work. Therefore, Adam plans to approach the Kane issue differently, potentially forming a very different alliance. Recently, Holden Novak has been around Adam and Chelsea Lawson, suggesting that Y&R might be setting the stage for something. Holden is employed by Kane and has shown he can be untrustworthy, so Adam might see him as the ideal insider. If Adam can persuade Holden to switch sides, he could gain access to confidential information about Kane and be better equipped for any upcoming threats. Sally Spectra has made a choice to bring Audra Charles on board at Abbott Communications, but this decision might backfire. Billy Abbott is worried, which could suggest that Audra's reporting to Sally won't be easy. Although Audra talks confidently, she lacks a strong record of professional achievements. It appears that Audra attracts drama and may be unlucky, given her ties to numerous unsuccessful business ventures. Is there a chance that Audra will undermine Abbott Communications, just as Sally is trying to launch it? Whether intentional or not, Audra could jeopardize Sally's significant opportunity, leaving Sally regretting her decision to hire her. Amanda Sinclair has been absent from the screen since the chaos in Nice concluded, but it's likely that a new legal issue will arise that needs her expertise soon. Kane appreciates Amanda's counsel as his reliable attorney, so he might reach out to her with urgent news if another crisis strikes. Eventually, Amanda will have to return to Genoa City, which could mean dealing with a mess or devising a clever plan to assist Kane. Kane might discover new ways to challenge Amanda's loyalty, so keep an eye out for updates on Amanda's future and how Phyllis Summers will be involved. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that surprises are on the horizon in GC, so be sure to catch all the excitement. Here is your weekly recap of The Young and the Restless for the episodes that aired August 18th through 22nd, 2025. This week on The Young and the Restless, Lily flatly turned down Kane's request for another chance and left him to explain his double life to the twins without her help. Lily warned Holden to watch his back with Kane. Kane stressed to an overenthusiastic Phyllis that they were not partners or equals. Phyllis chided Kane for stalling his plan to take over Genoa City. Kane assigned Phyllis the task of becoming an expert in artificial intelligence. Adam and Chelsea braced themselves for a counterattack from Kane. Phyllis was suspicious about Nick's efforts to turn Kane into an ally. Kane instructed Holden to add Nick to the list of people to make inroads with. Maddie and Charlie rejected Kane's attempts to reach out to them. Nate struggled to believe Audra's claim that she'd decided to walk away from Victor funding Vibranti. Nate tried to be supportive of Audra's plan to work at Abbott Communications, but he had lingering doubts about her story. Claire admitted to Holden that she had doubts about Kyle's version of what had happened with Audra. Tessa and Claire commiserated over their troubles. Daniel and Tessa shared a close moment. Claire informed Nate that Victor had pulled his funding from Vibranti because Audra had failed to break Claire and Kyle by seducing him, while Audra vehemently stuck to her story that Kyle had hit on her. Audra slipped by saying Victor was right in that Kyle would break Claire's heart. Nate grappled with whether to believe Claire or Audra, and Devin advised him to trust his gut. Nate confronted Audra about the holes in her story and gently pressed for the truth to save their relationship. Audra walked out on Nate. Victor stunned Claire by finally agreeing to accept her relationship with Kyle. Victor later told Kyle that while Kyle had passed his test, Victor would never trust an Abbott. Jack cautioned that Kyle's lie of omission about kissing Audra and niece could be problematic if the truth got out. Sally planned the launch of Abbott Communications and worried about the pressure of running a family company, but Billy assured her she'd be great. Chelsea sensed Billy was planning something big. Jack and Diane shared a romantic Italian-themed evening. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Mariah Copeland has a secret agent that she can't tell anyone. That would be unusual, but in this instance, it makes sense because she apparently smothered a man to death. The unnamed character, who viewers have only seen in Mariah's haunted memory flashbacks, is played by daytime veteran Michael Swan. He portrayed Adam Alexander on The Bold and the Beautiful, and Duncan McKechnie on As the World Turns. The return of Ian Ward in the recent past rattled Mariah far worse than imagined. She relayed that to Tessa Porter and Sharon Newman. But only the audience is aware that Mariah recalls smothering Swan's character to death sometime after kissing him while on a business trip for Cassidy First. Cassie Newman remains one of the most beloved characters in this show's history. The actor who portrayed her and Cassie's identical twin sister, Mariah, is a natural fan favorite. The death of Sharon's daughter, whom Nick Newman adopted during their marriage, was an incredibly disturbing storyline and also one of this soap opera's most controversial. The decision was made to split Sharon and Nick, with this plot technique proving to be the most excruciating method of accomplishing that goal. The one-time couple is on the verge of again trying to reunite with fans, forever wondering what life would have been like in Genoa City, Wisconsin, if Cassie hadn't driven Daniel Romalotti home on that most fateful night in May 2005. Daniel lost one of his true loves when Ian brutally killed Heather Stevens and framed Sharon for it. That tale was masterfully crafted and included Sharon's shaded memories of killing Heather and disposing of her body. But Sharon didn't kill Heather, as time and plenty of twists confirmed. The eternal killer, Ian, is still alive, as Sharon, Mariah, Daniel, and all others in GC don't know. So, it's yet another bit of irony that Daniel, who is forever linked to Cassie's tragic death, is the choice to couple with Tessa. That bit of added conflict is purely juicy soap as this couple is emerging late this summer. Viewers know that Ian is alive, making it fair to wonder if he's somehow connected to Swan's character. Then again, fans can speculate how much of Mariah's memory flashes can be taken at face value. The first question that needs to be asked is clear. Did Mariah kill that man? And if so, was it part of a delayed rage reaction to Ian's return months earlier, as she seems to believe? Mariah feels she needs to be apart from her loved ones, with that self-imposed isolation deepening her depression. Yet, the shock of what she apparently did, possibly in self-defense, hasn't worn off, and she won't talk with anyone about it. No matter, Mariah's secret is, as is true of so many in this famous city, it will eventually be exposed. But by the time that happens, will Tess and Daniel have cemented their bond? This site is a leading source for everything linked to the Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news. It's going to be a week filled with details about Kane on Y&R. The coming week on the Young and the Restless promises twists, confrontations, and emotional reckonings. Kane finds himself in the middle of it all, but Victor, Lily, and Billy each play pivotal roles in how the fallout unfolds. Here are the storylines SoapHub most wants to see August 25th to 29. Victor won't let Kane gain the upper hand for long. When Kane makes his move, Victor quickly flips the script and reminds everyone why he remains the master strategist. The Newman patriarch's countermove could leave Kane scrambling and shift the balance of power yet again. Kane begins to share details about his time away from Genoa City. His revelations raise questions and spark suspicions about what he has been hiding. These disclosures are set to shake up not only his own standing, but also the relationships he hopes to repair or exploit. As Kane opens up, Lily is confronted with reminders of her past with him. The memories bring a mix of pain and longing, making it impossible for her to ignore the complicated history they share. Will these reminders pull her back toward Kane or push her further away? Billy decides Jack needs to know the truth about Kane's latest plan. By confiding in his brother, Billy ensures the Abbotts will know about the impending drama. Kane's scheme may prove to be more dangerous than anyone realizes, and Jack could become a crucial player in how it all plays out. Could this result in a Newman's-Abbott team-up to take down Kane? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that single Audra Charles may shake up Genoa City. When Audra inevitably goes after a new man following her Nate Hastings split, who's it going to be? Y&R appears to already have another pairing lined up for Nate, who's been reconnecting with Victoria Newman. It may take some time for a Nate and Victoria reunion to play out, but they seem poised to get there sooner or later. Audra may ultimately move on as well, so it'll be interesting to see her next romantic direction. Which GC hunk will Audra gravitate toward in the coming months? Holden Novak has grown closer to Claire Newman lately, but part of him will always be drawn to Audra and her unique charms. If Audra throws herself at Holden somewhere down the line, he'll probably cave in and land in bed with her. Since Claire and Kyle Abbott may have a romantic split of their own coming up, Claire may lean on Holden for support. Audra might get territorial about her former flame as a result and pull Holden back toward her instead. On the other hand, Audra might stick with making Kyle her man again if she's still got something to prove. There's a fine line between love and hate, so Audra may cling to that and try to take advantage of Kyle's eventual single status. Naturally, it's also possible the show will pair Audra up with someone fresh and exciting, like Kane Ashby, who could get tired of waiting around for Lily Winters. Audra might be a nice distraction for Kane in the meantime, especially since she's hinted about Kane being attractive before. Phyllis Summers has been gloating about Kane's plans being bigger than Audra's mind can comprehend, so Audra may decide she wants in and cozy up to Kane as a result. Even Billy Abbott might be a possible pairing option for Audra if Y&R decides to blow up her friendship with Sally Spectra. Audra always looks out for number one, so Sally would be wise to watch her back. Regardless, the Young and the Restless spoilers say single Audra could cause more destruction, so stay tuned. Will Phyllis and Kane's plan work? Kane and Phyllis are working together on the Young and the Restless, and both of them want to take down Victor Newman. But will their new project work, or could it backfire? Once again, Phyllis showed up uninvited. Kane wondered how often she was going to do this. She's good at putting her nose where it doesn't belong. She did that when Kane looked at his tablet. He was checking off his to-do list, which included a crafty plan. Phyllis is eager to get to work, so Kane offered her a project. He asked her if she knew about artificial intelligence. Phyllis can work her way around a phone or two, but she has never played around with ChatGPT. She admitted that she's heard of AI. She still considers herself a techie, even though she hasn't played around with this new digital tool. Kane asked Phyllis to become an expert in artificial intelligence. He knows that she can pick up things fast, but Phyllis has a lot of work cut out for her. She looked up artificial intelligence on the internet and was blown away by what she learned. This could be the tool that could take down Victor. After her meeting with Kane, Phyllis sat in the park. She thought about all of the companies she could hack with this emergent technology. Phyllis has caught on to the future, but as Victor? Could AI outwit Victor Newman? So many people have tried to take him down for decades, but no one has beaten him. Maybe Kane and Phyllis have something powerful on their hands. Or maybe they're playing with danger. Who knows what could come out of this technology, especially when it ends up in the wrong hands. Phyllis believes this tool is more powerful than all of GC's elite, but could it be clever enough to take over Newman Enterprises? Plus, Nate makes a confession, and Kane reveals more details about the past 6 years. The Young and the Restless spoilers for August 25-29 reveal the reason for Amanda's latest return to Genoa City. Plus, Nikki makes a big change and Chancellor, and there's another round of Jack versus Victor on the way. Victor may have finally given his approval for Kyle and Claire's relationship. His hatred for the Abbotts, however, remains as strong as ever, especially his rivalry with Jack Abbott. Next week, look for Victor and Jack to trade barbs over family matters. It's simply another Thursday in Genoa City. There are plenty of other goings-on in the Newman family that don't involve Victor directly. On Monday, Nick and Adam put their differences aside to help their family. Didn't they put aside their differences a long time ago? These days, they seem to get along more than they disagree. But they're always a flare-up away from destruction. On Thursday, Victoria worries about Claire's future. As well she should, considering Kyle is choosing to keep his actions with Audra in Nice a secret. And on Friday, Nikki makes a big change at Chancellor. Does she do this as a preventative measure against Kane's thirst for the company? In other GC news, Amanda returns home to a new assignment. Let's see. Kane already gave Phyllis homework. She has to become an AI expert, so much so that she could give a TED Talk. What homework will Kane give Amanda? Elsewhere, Nate is hurting. He lost Damien and feels helpless when it comes to consoling Amy. Things look done with Audra, who refused to tell him the truth about what went down between her and Kyle in Nice. Y&R teasers suggest that Nate makes a confession to Devon. What does he reveal? Look for Billy to tell Jack about Kane's latest plan. Meanwhile, Kane finally reveals details about his time away from Genoa City. Hopefully, he's filling in Lily since she needs the truth from him.